Good evening. So recently I made a vampire hunting kit or a human hunting kit. That's up for you to decide. Anyway, check it out.
Minus 3 plus 2 carry to 4 plus 2 carry to 0 remainder 2 plus 40. Why does that sound like my game system? Jackie, why is he playing my game system? I told him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. Listen, Count Butula, you and your little bat buddies need to leave right now.
Go away, sheet boy. I am playing games.
What did you just call me?
I think you heard me just fine, sheet boy. Now out of the way.
Okay. So that's how you want to play it, huh? Huh.
Hammers don't work on vampires, sheet boy. We are immune to blunt force trauma.
Doggibbet. Hey, I need your help.
Bobby G, just who I've been looking for.
What, you were looking for me?
I sure was.
Oh, what for?
Well, you left your chalk out from your little art project last night.
Art project? What art project?
The one right there.
Oh, that art project. I saw that. Yep, I have no idea who did that. Must have been someone with really good taste and thought I was incredibly handsome.
Okay. How can I help you?
If you were gonna kill a vampire, how would you do it?
Probably a stake through the heart. Why?
I'm just shopping for hobbies.
Is this going to be the same situation where you quit something, kind of like when we put you in karate and you quit immediately?
That's not even my fault. They're teaching people how to do karate kicks. I don't even have legs. That was not a very accessible karate class.
Well, I have been playing around with making a vampire hunting kit, so maybe it's your lucky day.
Excellent. How long would it take to make one?
Probably a couple days.
That sounds great. Why don't you work on that and I'll be back in a couple of days.
Okay. Now, I can go into my backyard and chop down a tree, but I find with a little tweaking, stair banisters will do just the trick. First things first, safety first. Don't make the same mistake here. I didn't clamp my wood here and my banister got away from me. Yikes. Anyway, I'm just taking my stair banisters and cutting them to my desired length. In my case, the banisters I chose were a little decorative, so I opted to keep part of the handle to give some shape to my vampire stakes. I'm not a huge fan of the color finish on these stakes, and they were pretty dull and shine, so I definitely made my life a little harder and chose to refinish them, which required a lot of sanding to prep. Now, I didn't film chiseling the stakes to a point, but here's some footage of Oz and I testing them. So I have my vampire stake here, and after sanding all the veneer off, we went ahead and sharpened it to a point, but not too pointy for safety reasons, because I would like to display this in my home eventually, and I don't want it too sharp. So we're going to stain it now. And along with the stake, we're also going to stain the mallet that will go with it. The stakes and mallet didn't take much stain to refinish them, and I had some leftover red stains from a previous woodworking project, so it was perfect for what I needed to do. I probably did about 2 to 3 coats, making sure to wipe off the excess in between application, and finishing with a glossy polyurethane. All right, so we have the finished steak. It has been fully cured. I love a shiny piece of wood. this is pretty much the extent of the vampire hunting kit that I'm actually making. The rest I'm going to be curating and then throwing into a trunk, which I will show you in a bit. While doing some research for this project, I kind of wanted to date my vampire kit and thought it would be so neat to add a flintlock pistol. I found a toy replica from a novelty and costume site and just added paint and metallic powders and some contact paper to the handle to bring out the details and make it a little more convincing. So in every vampire hunting kit are a few dozen vials. What are in those vials? I have no idea. But I have a couple different sizes here. I have a colored one. I have one that I'm thinking is probably going to serve as the holy water, and a few different sizes of these standard ones. And what I am probably going to do is fill them with things like loose leaf tea or ground coffee to give some variation. And with that being said, let's get started. So in my household, we are definitely huge tea drinkers. So we always have a lot of different teas and such. And I figured because I have quite a few glass vials to fill, this would be a perfect way of doing so. But I definitely didn't account for how messy it could be. Oh my goodness, look at that precious face. Now as a guinea pig mom, I tend to find clumps of hair that my guinea pigs have either scratched off or pulled off of each other, and I know, a little weird, but I have to keep them right, and to kind of up the whimsy nature of this vampire kit, I added pieces to some of my vials. I was going to leave the glass I decided to use as the holy water blank, but I received a really neat engraving tool this past Christmas and wanted to try it out. I definitely need some practice in steady hand control, but I think the huge cross I engraved gets the point across. Hopefully, that's enough to deter a vampire thinking of getting a little too close. After filling my vials with tea leaves, I decided to further decorate with some twine wrapped around them. I just used a hot glue gun to secure. So here's the big antique trunk I decided to use to house all my vampire hunting equipment. Or is it a vintage trunk? I'm not sure if there's a huge difference. Anyway, I plan to kind of polish this up a little bit, but I do like a kind of worn feeling, especially for any decor I'm going to put into my home. With that being said, let's get this thing polished up and ready to display. Even though I said I like a worn look, I chose to brighten and shine my trunk with some wax, making sure to get into the handle and all the cracks. These came from an old sofa I had, and for some reason I just had to keep the cushion, right? So what I did was cut them down to size so that they fit nice and snug in my trunk. And what I'm planning to do is kind of placing my vampire hunting supplies on top, tracing them, and then carving out little nooks so that they can fit nice and tight in it. And that'll make my display a lot nicer. For anyone wondering, I used an old electric turkey carver to cut my foam to size, and it definitely sped up the process. Here, I'm just laying out all my stuff and tracing where everything is going to be displayed. Although a little tedious, but surprisingly easy, I just ripped out the foam with my hands. So now that we've went through all of our materials for hunting our vampire and ultimately ridding them of their existence from this world, you'll want to make sure that your kit looks nice, and you could throw everything in a bag and then later rummage through that bag while you're hunting your vampire, but I live in excess, and this is Haunted Homemaking. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we can put our kit together and see how it looks. Just like the wood stain, I had leftover fabric from my previous project. I'm laying the fabric over my foam and taking my time to press and fold it into all the nooks I created. For securing the fabric once the foam is inside the trunk, I didn't do anything fancy, just kind of stuffed the fabric behind the foam and against the inside of the trunk. After doing that, I went ahead and added a few final things, including the last and most unnecessary and fabulous thing, a candle holder. Thank you for joining us on this very dead but delicious episode of Haunted Homemaking. Let me know what you think of my kit. I had a lot of fun making it. I wish I had room to put more things in it, such as some snacks or an actual priest. That would be very helpful, but I don't, and this thing weighs about 15 pounds. Anyway, thank you for joining us and have a very good night.
So it's done?
It's done.
Excellent. This'll work perfectly for exactly what I need.
For decoration.
Huh? Oh, yeah, that. I'm taking this for decor purposes.
Okay, well, don't forget your mallet.
Of course. For decoration purposes.